Thanks for joining us for another episode of Freshman Focus. I'm Ashley Daly. Today, I have the honor of welcoming Carson Conrad here to the Freshman Focus stage for the very first time. We're in Circleville, Pickaway County Fairgrounds. And Carson, welcome.
Thank you.
This is a first for you, of course, and I want to say you're probably by far the youngest trainer we've ever had on Freshman Focus.
Right.
And so Ohio is not home base, or hasn't been home base before. You're not born and raised here. How do we get started in the horses? Where are you from?
I'm from Indiana. Got started behind Dad and his father, so my grandpa. They had a farm 20 miles from Louisville. It was in Indiana. I'd always go there on break when I was little. I loved it. They weren't racing Kentucky when I was young. It was mostly Indiana. I mean, they'd race like in Lexington, but not fairs really. They did it for me. When my papa passed away, my dad mostly based from Hoosier, and started going to the Kentucky fairs a little bit more as I grew up. I think I was 13 or 14 when we started going, and then I just fell right in.
Was there any other path besides horses for you?
No,
Never?
Not at all, no.
Were you ever involved in sports or anything? It was always horses?
I played basketball, a little bit of golf, baseball.
But you knew this was it?
Yeah, that was just stuff to kill my time, keep me out of trouble.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
And so we talked a lot about the fairs and even in other states, but that's kind of how you made your debut last year, was in Ohio. We drove a lot of fair races and you did very well. You kind of made a name for yourself, especially under the Steve Carter stable. You had 74 wins and almost $500,000 in seasonal earnings. What's that feel like as a young gun, kind of coming on the scene?
It was good. I mean, it started in Kentucky last year, and Steve pushed me there too. He sent me with nice horses, and so did my dad. And it was the first day. I mean, I really sat in the bike that year where I won 7 races, and it was like, this is my year, I think, to kind of explode a little bit.
And this is actually kind of a special interview for me as well, because you were one of our very early on recipients of the Bill Daly Foundation. So one of your first sets of colors did come from our foundation. Yeah. Do they still fit you?
No. I didn't have to think about it, no. We're trying to get down back in weight so they can fit me, maybe. Because I'm not grown. I've been the same weight same height since 8th grade.
And going into this year, what pushed you to become a trainer?
Well, it's still under my dad, but me and him we worked together, and we just wanted to expand to Ohio, I guess. So we've got mostly Ohio breds this year. We've got 1 out-of-state bred. Okay,
that was going to be my next question. So we are going to feature 4 Ohio 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
But outside of that, so we just have 1 other horse in the stable.
1 out-of-state bred, yeah.
What pushed you, I guess, to focus so much on Ohio? Was it money?
It's a lot of running back and forth. Kentucky, they're going 2 days for their fairs now, and you have Lebanon, it's 3 hours away, and the other ones are 5 hours. That's a lot. It's a lot on not just us, the horses too. I think it affects them more than us.
Of course, we got here earlier and watched you train down in sets. You're already going double headers. Have we hooked to a bike yet?
No, not yet.
What's your philosophy maybe going into this year and really getting your training roots under you?
Just have them ready when it's time. My dad's always had the mindset of first start, we're ready. First start, we're ready. That's his mentality.
Are we aiming for fairs?
I think Mimsy, one of the other Suma filly. I think so, yes. I mean, that's always the starting point is the fairs. But I have a couple nice ones. I'd like to see them at the track.
Once a year, the greatest converge. 12 championship races. Over $7 million on the line. History will be made. Legends will rise. In October 2026, Scioto Downs becomes the venue where speed meets destiny. The Breeders' Crown. Harness racing's ultimate showdown. It all comes down to the Breeders' Crown.
At Ohio State's Galbraith Equine Center, our veterinary champions are here for your champions 24/7, 365 days a year, providing advanced specialty care for sports horses from all stages and disciplines. Our expert team of boarded surgeons and sports medicine and rehabilitation specialists, together with veterinary cardiologists, internal medicine, and ophthalmologists, make our hospital your best resource for all sports horse performance issues. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center's Galbraith Equine Hospital. Call us today at 614-292-6661.
So we'll go ahead and get started then on our 4 Ohio breds. To kick us off, we have a gelding trotter, Long Gone Ataboy. This is Quattro de Julio out of Attagirl, Hanover, and SJ's Caviar mare. Now, you do own part of this gelding. Tell us a little bit about him and his personality.
He's in the stall. He's perfect. I mean, you could send anybody to mess with him. Now on the track, he's a fireball. Last month he's came along a lot.
He's quite a big colt.
Yes, he's
I
huge.
noticed he has a lot of action in his knees, his front end.
Mm-hmm.
How does he rigged, or do you have maybe toe weights on him? Or is that
no.
all natural?
That's just how he's been really since day one. He's always had a way of doing it. It's getting calm and doing it right. That was our big struggle. It's been our big struggle with him, but the past probably month he's been excellent.
I can assume that with the Quattro de Julios. I had kind of a special view of that horse when I was working with Scioto for the Charlie Hill a handful of years ago. He was a monster on the track. I'm not even talking about his performance and how good that horse was, but his attitude. He was a lot to handle. But you're not quite seeing that as much with his offspring?
Not in the barn, no. He was, even when he was a stud, he was very quiet. He never was doing too much, acting a fool. Just on the track, he can get warm. But he's calmed down a lot. Dad's rigged him up where he'll kind of come back to you more. And today I put the hood back on him, and he was way better.
How have you and your dad worked together? So I'm assuming that he's teaching you quite a bit still.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, when I worked for my dad, it's just every day you learn something. He teaches. I mean, I feel like when you're around my dad, you'll learn something new every day.
Do you butt heads because of that?
Yes. That was another question I had pretty quick. Yeah.
And when it comes to rigging in itself, how does Dad respect your opinion?
He just tells me to ride his coattails. Yeah, pretty much.
Now, with these colts, of course, it's still mid-April, but what have you kind of trained down in so far?
18. We're there right now, and they've all done it easy.
And is he one that we're aiming, hopefully with BSS, OSS a little higher than the fairs, or we're just going to let the horse tell us?
Well, I mean, that's him. He's going to let the horse tell you. I mean, if there's a fair before that, that's where we're going to be. But we paid our colts strictly Southern Valley, so we're not going 2 circuits with them. Wellston would be the first one, and I'm pretty sure Wellston crosses with Sire Stakes, so we'll see.
Going back to him and his gait, can you tell me much about it? He's been pretty clean-legged. Do you have? I don't think you had hobbles on today, did you?
I have had hobbles on him, and it was kind of. We had one pair at the time. I took him off for my 3-year-old, and last week I actually was like, "Oh, I don't have the hobbles," and Dad told me, "Just go train him. He'll be all right." Went training. He was fine.
Our next horse is Venus Laude, a filly pacer by Summa Cum Laude out of Miss Venus, a Fear the Dragon mare. She's actually just a $5,000 purchase from the Blooded Horse sale. So hopefully she was a steal.
Yeah. Right now I get goosebumps just talking about her right now.
So then tell me about her. What do you like? What turns you on?
From day one, she just her attitude's been perfect. You can mess with her. She's out of a Fear the Dragon mare. So I've seen a couple of those. Stevie had one, assume out of a Fear the Dragon mare, whose attitude was horrible. And this one right here, she is just a charm to mess with. And put her on the track. She does her job. She loves to come out of a hole. She relaxes on the front. Everything you want.
I did notice when you were doing your training trips, you like a lot of movement. You and your dad like a lot of movement during a training trip.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts behind that?
To get them, you never want them comfortable, because they're going to be in spots this summer where they're not always going to be comfortable. Teach them to be on the front. Whether they like it or not, they've got to go on the front. Teach them to come off the helmet. And that's where the best part of my dad is. He likes them. When they come off the helmet, they come strong.
And I definitely noticed that from her. She had a lot of pop. The colt that she went with was also very nice. And I was like, oh, he's a good one. And then I watched her come. She's strong. She's going right with the boys.
Yeah, she's paid into everything. So that's how much I like her.
I think your dad does own part of this one. So going back to the sales, did you have an input on what Dad buys, or it's Dad's money, Dad?
Yeah, we both, talk it over. Obviously, he tells me, I'm going to respect, obviously, more than what I respect myself of what he likes, because he's had more champions than I've had. He liked her. He's seen her before the videos even came out, and he was like, this is us.
The mare herself, Miss Venus, didn't race a lot. She only raced 7 times in 3 years, but the Grand Dam produced over $100,000 on the track. And she also foaled 2 millionaires. We've got Velocity Keystone made 1.6 million and Venus Delight made 1.1. So I would like to say that maybe her breeding will come back around here.
Yeah. She was small when we bought her, but she's definitely filled out and grown her part.
Has she had any quirks on the track?
Yeah.
Just all business.
Today was first day head pulls. So you see how much she's natural. First day head pull, I've never had a head pull on her.
Going now to our third colt pacer, Shoot Your Shot. This is a well set out of Ryla Beach, a some beach, somewhere mare. It was a little bit more expensive as far as the rest of your stable goes in comparison. Shoot Your Shot was a $30,000 purchase from Harrisburg, and actually Ryla Beach, his dam was unraced. So what turned you on?
Well, this one's owned by my dad and Hannah's Racing. So I think when I was actually racing when they bought him, my dad called me and he had told me a week before, he was like, I think we can get this colt bought. They paid a little more than they expected to have to pay, I think, but I mean, right now he's worth it. He had a great video. He was an athletic colt. And his mom has produced out of studs that haven't produced well. So I think that's what caught their eye. And we're going to try to hit him. Hopefully his mom produced the well set. Yeah.
And that's what the Grand Dam actually, again, in this colt was a $400,000 earner. Another nice one to go back a couple lines. When you're looking at horses, yearlings coming up in the year, do you care much about the mare? We're looking at studs anymore?
I mean, it's hard for a smaller stable like me to look for studs because if I'm going to go look for a Seaside, or this year I wanted a Monte Mickey, I couldn't get my hands on them. You got to look at the mare a little bit. Like I said, I liked Venus's mare because it was a Fear of the Dragon, and Stevie had one that made $100,000 last year. So I look at mares more than studs, but I do look at studs as well. I'm a big Suma guy.
In some beach somewhere. It's a nice line. Yes. And that was going to be my first thing that I mentioned is that mare ties back to that some beach somewhere, and we know that you produced through and through, has produced. But with Shoot Your Shot, you like him? He's professional. Has he always been professional though?
Yeah. He can be a knucklehead sometimes. Like he'll holler, he'll let you know he's there. He can be a knucklehead sometimes on the track, but I mean he's good to mess with.
What has made you keep him a colt?
He's just professional, like you said. He doesn't do nothing wrong. He's not mean. He pays attention on the track. And that's the main thing. If they don't pay attention, they're going to lose them, but he pays attention.
I will say that I noticed early this morning, given it's early, but this is a quiet fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Very quiet. There's only a handful of barns here with a handful of trainers. Do you have any concerns when you start going to fairs, maybe some of these louder pari-mutuels with crowds, that your horses won't know how to take it because they just haven't been exposed?
Yeah, there's enough action going on. Like they've all seen the tractor, and the only one to not like it is Venus. She's not too fond of it. I feel like there's enough action going around, and everybody drives around. They all see it. We get up early in the morning. They jog in the dark. They jog in the morning. Like they can see it all.
So you're out there trying to expose them no matter what. And our last filly pacer to be featured today is Mimsy Scribbles. This is one heck of a name.
Yeah.
Not sure where that comes from.
I don't know.
But this is a summa cum laude filly out of Gracie Lane, a Better's Delight mare. Kind of going back on the other hand, she was just an $8,000 purchase from the Ohio Selected Jug Sale. So she actually ran through the barn just right across the track.
Yeah, we walked her down here. Yeah, we walked her down from the sale to the barn.
And your dad does own this one.
Yeah.
Tell me, what do we like?
Well, she can do it. That's the thing is I think she's going to be one to break loose when it's time. When she sees the gate, I think she's going to be one to break loose. She's not all like, she's going to be a nice fair filly. Let's put it that way. She's nothing above that, I don't think, right now. But time will tell.
Right.
She has a great gait to her. Okay attitude. She can have a good attitude when she wants. You're just in her world.
Now, is that just in the barn or is that on the track too?
On the track. On the track. In the barn, you could do anything with it.
Is there any way that you've kind of figured out rigging might help, or different exposure that
Yeah.
might change her attitude?
We've changed a few things around on her, opened the blinds, the blinkers, and today she was lonely. The trotting colt, like I said, we got to baby him. She was lonely up there by herself, but once he got up to her, she kind of caught back on. There's my partner. I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be doing this.
I did notice that he kind of fell back
Yeah.
a couple lengths. When that happens between you and your dad, how do you deal with it? You just roll on.
Yeah. He just keeps going. I mean, our whole goal with him is to get his confidence up and keep him trotting, not to rush him. Now that he's gone 3 weeks in a three weeks in a row, pretty consistent. So we'll start pushing him now to make moves at the half, cut him on the front, have people come at him, cover him up. That's one of his flukes is when somebody comes at him, he tries to overtrot himself.
Have you had much problems running with him?
He's been a little bit of a handful. You need to wear him down. He's just like his dad. Now his dad had to go 3 trips. They used to go 3 or 4 trips with him at the county fair when Quattro first started at the county fair. So he is a horse that you got to wear him down. Got to wear him down.
Now, when he works, we'll go back to our mare here, Mimsy Scrimbles. When they are training together, do you ever get worried because you do have a trotter going with a pacer? Or does it matter?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. On his best day, he can trot right with her. He's talented, and she can go more than she carries on. She trains with Venus sometimes, and she's right there with Venus sometimes. Obviously, Venus has a handful, but she does train right with Venus. She's trained with everybody.
Okay, that was going to be my question, is if you change your sets very often.
We change them all. He's trained with my out-of-state bred. He's trained with that well-said colt. Trained with them all.
Gotcha. And Mimsy, so I did want to mention her Gram Dam produced Trente Dio.
Yeah.
Was a $400,000 earner and also had 2 foals with sub 150 mark. So maybe she'll surprise you. I know that you're aiming for the fairs right now, but you really never know, especially until you get behind the gate and see what everybody else has.
Yes.
What are we aiming for as far as qualifying? Matinees maybe before
We're
that?
going to matinee. That's actually, that was this morning. That was a topic with me and my dad. We're going to matinee a little bit. Just kind of get them all on the same page. I like them all to be right spot. I don't like them to be behind. So a matinee, and then my goal is to qualify. My dad's a little different. He's a person that would rather train them and then take them to the fairs. So we'll see where we meet on that. Yeah.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Thanks for joining us today. And there is Carson Conrad in his episode of Freshman Focus, where we feature 4 Ohio breds. Join us next time on Freshman Focus.